And welcome to Poppy's Workshop. And today we are going to be changing our chucks. So if you look on the left screen, we have my old Excalibur, and this is the Excalibur chuck that comes with the saw itself. It's just cast aluminum. It's big, it's chunky, it's loud, it rattles, whatever. It's just a mass-produced piece. A lot of people just don't like it, and I can understand why. So this is what we're going to replace. We have the top and we have the bottom. I'm only going to do the top in this video because the bottom is really just the same thing. You're talking about 2 bolts, 2 sleeves, 4 washers. That's it. So let's look at the left-hand screen and take a look at your tools that you're going to need. I find ideally that a 7mm socket will work very well. I don't happen to have one, but if you want to use a box wrench, a 7mm box wrench, you can do that. I have the typical 10mm. And you also have a choice whether you want to use a ratchet like my DeWalt here, or this old Craftsman. I think I got this from my father, and this is, oh my heavens, 60 plus years old or something. So it's just a manual socket, so you gotta just flip it back and forth or whatever. You have a hex or Allen wrench, and this is a 3. And then I always say, have a little pokey thing. This is my little pokey thing right here. If you've got a small screwdriver, you can actually use the hex for what we're going to use the pokey thing for, but I will show you that. Of course, you will need your replacement chuck. In this case, it is going to be the Pegasus. And the Pegasus is aircraft aluminum. This is so much lighter, much better made, and that's really the biggest thing that people are switching over to. But for some reason, if your chuck needs to be repaired, needs to be replaced, or whatever, that's what you got to do. We're going to do it. So let's go back over and go from there. So on the opposite side that you cannot see is going to be a hex bolt top that you're going to have. So you can see I'm inserting that in. And then, let me do this. I'm going to switch to my old Craftsman first so you can see that work. And if I can get so we'll use the old Craftsman. And what's nice about this is if you're only going to be turning the hex, then this will stay still. So remember, righty-tighty, lefty-loosey. So I'm going anti-clockwise or counterclockwise with the hex. Or, same thing, I can anchor with this and then just flip that. So you can see how you can, use this, get it down here, flip it over, and you get real used to that. You get to a certain point where you just remove the rest with your fingers. Small parts, be very careful. You have the nut here. You do have a washer and a washer on the other side with the bolt. So I am pulling that out, and my hands don't work very well. So, yep, my tools fall. And there you go. That is what you're pulling out. What I would recommend when you get it over to the bench, make sure you place everything in a good place there. And we are going to now take the little sleeve that is in there out. Now, you can use your Allen, or what I prefer is my pokey thing. So we're just going to slide that out. Let me show it to you. You can see it here. And when you do that, that arm will drop. You can do the bottom first if you like, so that this just drops and this stays so it hangs up in front of you. So that may actually be a better thing. So I'm going to put this back in. And this is where the pokey thing comes in really handy. As I stick it through, I put it on that, and it makes it a lot easier to put the sleeve in. So let's do the bottom now, and let me get my tools back. And here we go. Okay, that's close enough, and I'm not going to drop my tool again. Otherwise, I am the tool. Yeah, my hands, I have trigger finger, so my fingers lock up, unfortunately. And let's knock the bottom sleeve out, and I'll use the hex. And all I'm doing is trying to catch the edge, and you let that drop. There you go. Now, one of the things, especially when I'm going to be putting things away, I will make sure that all my parts are screwed together. So let's get this top one out. And there you go. Let's get it over to the workbench. So this is the old, get some things out of the way here. This is the old chuck, and this is the new Pegasus. So you can see the Pegasus is a lot smaller. It is a lot lighter, quite a bit lighter, and just a better grade of aluminum aircraft versus cast. So what I will do at this point is I'll put the sleeves on. This is so you don't lose your nuts and bolts. And here's an interesting thing. These just don't fit quite as smooth as you would hope. My Excalibur was the Chinese-made Excalibur. And you only have to put it on finger tight. You're just trying to prevent from losing your parts. And we're going to put it in a baggie after the fact. And my baggie's dying. Remember when screwing on these particular type of bolts, these are self-locking bolts. I don't know if you can see that. You can see a little, almost like a rubber compound at the crown. So you want to make sure that that is at the top when you're screwing the nut into the bolt. So yeah, that's all you're going to do. And you're going to put it in your parts container, baggie, box, whatever it is. And then we're going to prepare this. Here we go. All right, so you can show you this. You can see the other side, which is going to be the hex side of the bolt. And I don't know if I can, yep, I can do that with finger. I only had them finger tight. So you saw that washer run away. Yeah, I'm going to use this to prevent it from going down some of my dog holes. All right, here we go. Now, if you want to, you could do this. Have your bolt, have your nut ready, and then take everything out. And when we put it back together, we're going to have the bolt, the nut, and the sleeve. All right, so we'll have them kind of pre-put together. So let's see how we do here. All right, we're going to do the top first, and actually, let me do this. Let me get that old blade out of the way here. There we go. All right. So from the back, what I will be doing is just threading it. And that bolt helps guide through the hole, rather than having to use the pokey thing like I did on the other. Let's go do, let's do this. Let's nut. Take a washer, so we've got the washer. Washer goes on, be very careful you don't drop it, it's small. I've noticed I have a new Pegasus 30, and I noticed they're using a little bit larger washers. So I'll thread it on by hand. Now that's secure. Let's go grab another. Again, you've got the bolt, you've got the washer, you've got the sleeve. So we're going to raise that up, that arm. We'll take the little assembly and we'll wiggle, and hopefully it's going to come through. Easy, yay. I almost look like I know what I'm doing. There we go. We got a washer. And we've got the self-locking nut. Finger tight. And then we'll grab the 3. And this time, let me switch over to my... Got it set for righty-tighty, lefty-loosey. This time we are going to go righty-tighty. Yeah, and we'll drop things, but I caught it. And you can see I'm doing both hands, or if you want, same thing, you can just spin your Allen or do your... And you don't go super tight. You'll notice that I tend to choke down when I'm using the ratchet, even though it's small, because I don't want to put a lot of pressure on when I'm tightening. If I come up here and you're going to bend the metal. So I tend to stay close to the axis of the socket, and it's like, that's tight enough. Same thing on the top. I'll do a few spins on the Allen, and then it's tight enough for, I think and I dropped it. There we go. Okay. Well, I think we are close enough to call it done. So, there we go. And tight enough. And that's it. There you go. That's how you change out your chuck. In this case, we're going to the Pegasus. You'll do the same exact thing, only this will be kind of upside down and a little bit different, a little bit harder to get to the Allen side. It's a little bit tight, you can't see. You got to really get down, get some light down below the table, and that's it. We don't have anything else to do, and that's how you do it. Hey, make it a great day. And may the Lord richly bless you right here at Poppy's Workshop.